How's it going, everybody, and welcome to episode 37 of the Shadow Call podcast. And
In a row?
Yep. Well, not in a row, but close. We've had a couple of off weeks, but
one of the longest running episodic YouTube commentaries
on this channel
about wrestling on this channel.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Hell, it's the only one, for God's sakes. But anyway, so this is gonna be a bit unwieldy, but we'll do our best as we got five people here.
Hi.
Of course, it's the usual four, myself, Scott, Walter, and James, but we are joined by fellow Horseman podcast co-host, Ricky Carmen, aka Horror Master.
Yellow. And it's about time I was in your show. I mean, being one of the biggest wrestling fans here.
Well, you're kind of always on the show. You're just not seen. You're always in the chat.
Yeah, you're always in the chat saying Diabolus and Musica.
I mean, technically, yeah. Sometimes I can't catch the show because I'm stuck at work, but I always watch it afterwards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But, what an episode we got in store for you guys tonight. Tonight we are talking about the Royal Rumble. The Royal Rumble match that doesn't exist anymore. WWE Royal Rumble 2004. So,
dun, dun, dun.
So the reason why I picked this one was not only because of what we know, but also I remembered watching this show as a kid and I thought this show was good, but now that I'm older and watched it back, you're about to find out. So,
one of the worst Royal Rumble shows of all time.
Yes. And already we got some new people in the chat. Newcomer on Twitch, Rocky Winter 99. How's it going? New and love wrestling. Is this the one that Benoit won? Yes, we are talking about that one.
Who?
Yeah, who?
Yeah. Redacted.
Steven Richards?
Is it Krispy Kreme Donuts? Crispin what?
Wow.
Benoit, yes.
Yeah, Benoit, as as Jericho and I always called him. Anyways, so kind of lost for words because watching this show back, I was like, why did I pick this one? But it went on every 3 years schedule that I made with it and blah, and it was a big Royal Rumble in my childhood, so it was like, fuck.
I mean, even for me also, I mean, it was one of the first Rumbles that I actually saw on pay-per-view, so, you know, that's why
this was, from what I remember, this was the second Rumble pay-per-view in a row that my brothers and I ordered. We ordered 03, and then we ordered this one.
I know. Don't they make you feel old? Well, Jesus.
Scott and I were at 92. We were both there. You guys were just like twinkles in your mom's eyes.
I know. Stains in your dad's pants. Jesus.
Yep.
I was almost one.
Almost.
So,
this many.
Yes.
I'm this many old.
I mean, gosh, I had pubes. That's how old I was.
I had more than you. I'm older. I had hair back then, damn it.
Me too.
Oh, God. Levi, get ready when we're going to that age.
Oh,
we're going to be kicking ass. We're going to still be kicking ass.
Well, you know what's funny? I've got, like, my dad's style hair, and he's only just now getting bald, and he's almost 60.
What happens is this. You're going to feel exactly the same as you feel now for many, many years. And then it's going to, boom, fuck, I'm old.
Yep.
You know, just out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've got the brain of an old man, that's for sure, because I forget shit easily.
Oh, yeah.
Well, then again, I've been hitting the head so many damn times, whether it be from sports or hitting my head on the fucking basement door because you have to crouch because it's so tiny.
Hey, Goldberg.
Yeah.
Did you just hear yourself?
Questions I got from my kids, like, Dad, where did you and Grandpa sit? Oh, I don't really remember. Where did Scott sit? I'm like, are you kidding? We didn't even know each other then.
No.
So, Levi, I don't know if you just heard yourself. You hit yourself in the head so many times.
Why can't we see?
Well,
Scott
I've
again?
had my I guess I should have said that differently. My head's been hit so many times.
Well, and then this Rumble. Well,
Yeah. Now, see, he's putting it all together now.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah,
Well, I've
that's
never been concussed, thankfully, but
That you know.
I've
of.
never been
you, on the other hand, Scott.
concussed.
Cut.
We are
No.
it doesn't matter.
you're gonna do it. You're gonna do it. Psycho version. Jin.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
jin,
exactly.
jin.
Steve Austin and Psycho. What?
Anyways, though,
Right.
What the hell are we talking about? I forgot.
I don't even know anymore.
I don't know.
2004 statistics.
Well, real quick before we get there, a couple other comments I see. Lindsay in the chat saying, Levi, the I'm old hit me after the second kid. Okay. But anyways, so moving on to the statistics for Rumble 04. So the attendance for this show, this was in the Wachovia Center in Philadelphia, 17,289 sellout, all paid. Unknown live gate, because when I looked it up, there was no live gate numbers I could find for 2004 shows.
Nobody was there.
It's at least $2.
$2.
With pay-per-view buys, 500,000, so higher than 2000... Shut up, Duck. Yeah, now my phone quacks. It doesn't go, oh yeah, anymore.
Kennedy.
I need to remind myself I need to put the Mr. Kennedy shtick now on there. Anyways,
Kennedy.
I tortured Ricky so bad with that on stream the other night. But anyways, so the attendance higher than 2003, pay-per-view buys lower than 2003. But compared to everything else in 2004, attendance was 4th highest, with WrestleMania 20 being the highest. Pay-per-view buys, 2nd highest, with WrestleMania 20 being the highest. Can't say anything about Livegate because it's not known for 2004. But, Scott, what food do we have en masse for tonight's show?
Well, my friend, we got a lot of food going on this show because this is when the time happened that the old wrestling mentality rule was you don't do spots in battle royals because you can get hurt. You know, someone's not going to know something's going to happen and it gets fucked up. Well, in this era, we're starting to see more shit of moves happening in the Rumble match. So, yeah, long list
Holy
of moves
shit.
happening in this match. I mean, and these are actual good moves, not like body slam, power slam, things like that. No, bigger moves. So, first up, the special stuff we got on this show from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Royal Rumble 2004. We have Bubba's Shorts. We have a blind Nydia. We have a stretcher job. Sheriff Austin. We have chopping. A taker fake out. We have Brood. We have Bang Bang. And we have Sacco. For the moves, we have assisted neck breaker, spine buster through the table, 1619. 3 amigos, although Chavo does 2, so I guess technically it's 5 amigos. We got a frog splash from Eddie. 1 Alabama slam, 2 F5s, 1 figure 4, a top rope elbow, a sleeper, pedigree, a super kick, 2 stunners. The move of the night, German suplex, clocking in at 9. We have a gore. We have a sit-out power bomb. We have 7 choke slams, 1 stink face, 1 cactus clothesline, 3 famousers, 1 FU. Yes, it was not the AA yet. It was an FU. We get 3 actual spears, 1 lion salt, 1 5-star frog splash, 1 5-knuckle shuffle. We get a Walls of Jericho, 2 angle slams, an ankle lock, and 2 cross faces. For the foo, we have post foo, table foo, stair foo, tie foo, announce table foo, chair foo, and wire cable foo. There is your foo for Royal Rumble 2004.
And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, and kids out there who don't know, 5-knuckle shuffle is slang for masturbation. Hey, kids!
The more you know.
Exactly.
Good night, everybody.
And FU means forever unchained.
There you go.
Yes.
Don't forget that.
All right,
After gold,
so with all that said, let's get on with the show itself. So we kick things off with the first of 4 championship matches of the night. A tables match for the World Tag Team Championships. Champions Ric Flair and Batista of Evolution versus challengers the Dudley Boys. The only good thing about this match, I'm going to say, is Batista shitting all over Philly right before the match started. That was it. Other than that, this match sucked.
You're losers like the Eagles.
I mean, by this time, the Dudley Boys were just out. They were almost
they were
out.
checked out by this
They
point.
were like, yeah,
They had
we're
nothing.
just doing this for a paycheck. It's just, and in Philadelphia, of all places to, I guess, bury the Dudleys, it should at least given them a bit of more of home field advantage. But no, they were like, screw you. We just want to do this for a paycheck. We're gonna go. They eventually went like a couple of months.
They
after.
they stuck around the rest of the year, and then they were at One Night
They were around
Stand.
for another year
One
and
night
a
stand,
half.
and then after
And
one
then
night
they
stand,
went to
it was-
TNA
Didn't
later
they
in the
go
year.
OVW a little bit for after that time, like just to help out with the training and just help the
Yep.
newer guys.
Well,
Yeah.
they wanted to. They wanted to go to OVW to help train and groom the tag teams down there, but they never really got to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then they went to One Night Stand, then they left.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
For me, this was a plain match. Just
It's short.
It was
It's nothing special.
It was
Yeah.
fast. It was rushed.
It was
Yeah.
fast.
Rushed.
Yeah.
Well,
This
Flair
entire
was bumping
undercard
his
was
ass off,
rushed.
though. I'll tell you that was
Yep.
back when Rick was Mach
He was
2.
still-
I
yeah.
mean, he had a little supplemental help, obviously you could tell.
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah.
But he did that back body drop. Took the back body drop from Bubba Ray at the beginning of the match. I'm like, come on, you're old.
Stop doing that.
Yeah.
Mm.
But in the
He
end,
was still going. He was still trying to impress people.
yeah.
He was trying to show
And he would leave the company and go to TNA and then come back too.
Yep. But in the
Everybody
end,
did.
Evolution defeated the Dudley Boys in 4 minutes 23 seconds. So yeah, you're gonna notice with the most of the undercard, short matches. Speaking of short, we get to actually before we get to that, we get one of the funniest interview segments of the year. Cena back when he was Dr. Thugonomics doing his shtick, and then RVD, Rob Van Dam, and then Cena just completely roasts on him for the Mary Jane. That was awesome. So
Spending so much time with Mary Jane.
yeah, but
And
now
kids, for those of you who don't know what Mary Jane is, it's marijuana.
I thought that was Spider-Man's girlfriend.
Why not both?
but anyways, speaking of short matches, next up, the second championship match of the night for the WWE Cruiserweight Championship. Rey Mysterio defending against Jamie Noble with a blind Nydia. This was during the angle they were doing where when Nydia got the mist in the face from Tajiri that blinded her, only for, at this point, for another month, because I believe it was No Way Out the next month they did that blindfold match with Nydia and Noble, I believe. Or
Yeah, I think
SmackDown
it was the
around that
following
time.
month.
This match didn't
Yeah.
even need to be on the card. It could have been on Heat or whatever they had. It could have been on SmackDown the few days
Velocity.
Yeah.
Yep.
Really didn't have to be on there, and it was awful. On top of that, that part when he had the finish when Nydia grabs Jamie Noble's leg accidentally, she doesn't sell it. I mean, she just grabs it, and then when she doesn't act like she realized she grabbed the wrong leg. Even when Ray's music is playing, she should. Oh shit! What did I do?
She's completely like oblivious.
Yeah. It's like, because apparently, in wrestling, when you're blind, you're also oblivious to everything else.
Deaf and dumb as well.
That always happens in wrestling. You notice that? Every blind angle, it's like everything just shuts down.
Everything, yeah.
Yeah, because who
When it's
the
supposed to
hell
be the
wants to
exact
do
opposite.
that?
All your other senses are supposed to be heightened because you lost one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just no. Just
This
Give me
and-
one moment, I gotta come back in.
okay.
and I love Rey Mysterio, and I respect the living crap out of Jamie Noble, but WWE's Cruiserweight division was never as big as WCW's. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna say
I've been saying that
Yeah.
for weeks on this show, that the WWE Cruiserweight division
Next
back
division was
then
better than the WWE.
way
Cruiserweight
better, way better. Because at least it was treated like something, whereas the WWE cruiserweights just did not get focus other than the Cruiserweight
Whether
Classic.
it was the light heavyweights or the cruiserweights, it didn't really matter. WWE could never get a junior heavyweight division right.
What's my debate, Scott? What's my debate that gets everybody pissed off and stirred up? I said that the current one, 205 Live, was a better because they actually get to wrestle. Here's my old guy perspective of the WCW Cruiserweight division. I know we're getting off par, but you guys brought it up. I got to get it off my chest. With the exception of matches with Mysterio and Ultimo and Malenko and Jericho and Eddie, the rest of the Cruiserweight division were basically cannon fodder for guys like Scott Norton or the NWO or anybody like that. They would have those feature matches with the title on the line, featuring those 4 or 5 top Cruiserweights. But then the rest of them, the Hector Garzas, Villanos, the Ciclopes, the Halloweens, the Yuji Nagata, who's not a Cruiserweight, they would get involved in the big 6-man or 8-man matches, and they would be just there for like filler. Or have like Scott Norton or somebody come in and cut the match off or something like that, for whatever reason. That's just the way I saw it. At least WWE's current Cruiserweight division, the 205 Live stuff, can't say it right now, but when it was going pre-COVID, they at least had a Cruiserweight division where these guys could wrestle each other in a show where they could wrestle each other. WCW did not have that.
No.
So.
Had
a lot of great points, but it was always in that title picture. Everything else on the bottom didn't. It's not like they had their own thing. They did, but it didn't. They didn't.
But in the end, Rey Mysterio defeated Jamie Noble in 3 minutes 12 seconds. Moving on.
It didn't need to be on the show.
Yeah. Moving on to actually one of the brighter things about this show. Up next, it's
not really saying much.
Yeah, uncle versus nephew. Eddie Guerrero versus Chavo Guerrero. The Los Guerreros explode. And
he's my favorite wrestler.
And I actually liked the promo package they did for this match, showcasing the dissension between Eddie and Chavo when they lost the belts to the Bashams. And Kurt intervening, trying to get them to come back together, which was really weird. Looking back, like, why Kurt? Why is he intersecting himself in this? Especially in hindsight, looking back, because he would turn heel not long after this show. So, makes it weirder in hindsight. And then they get the rematch, and they lose, and then Chavo just sits back, watches Eddie get beat up, and then he beats him up himself. And they bring in Chavo Classic, Chavo Sr. into the whole thing, which I thought was an interesting touch. But then we get the match itself. I thought this match was a good match. Really good match between these two.
It was a great match.
Solid.
It was very straightforward, good. I mean, not too long, not too short.
And it told a good story between the two as well, which is the important thing.
It did.
And it helped demonstrate Eddie's temper. That was a big subplot of the match on the commentary. Oh, he's a volcano ready to erupt at any minute. And then you saw that develop throughout the match. So yeah, it was help getting Eddie to that next level where he eventually goes a month later, and then a couple months later, and so forth.
If you took the Rey and Noble match out, if you took that and allowed them to add about a couple more minutes to it, I think it would have been even better.
Oh yes. Yeah. But in the end, Eddie Guerrero defeated Chavo Guerrero in 8 minutes 3 seconds. And then post-match, Eddie tying up Chavo Classic's tie on the rope and beat the fuck out of Chavo Jr.
Eddie, what are you doing? He's your kid, even though he's not your kid.
And I like the dialogue that Eddie tells to Chavo. Never mess with me, pendejo, a la chingada tu madre. In translation, means don't fuck with me, kid. Shut the fuck up. I just love that freaking ghetto ass dialogue of Eddie. Like, yeah, it could be aggressive, but man, could he like freaking beat you up as he's doing, like bam, 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 all the blood in his hands. Like it's your own blood. You're beating the living crap out of your own blood. I mean that's the thing with WWE when it does like those kind of angles. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. When it works, it could be magic. When it doesn't, it's a shit show.
Yeah.
Kind of like anything else, like what we see on AEW. It could be great, it could be terrible.
And what Ricky just pointed out too, I always loved when people could speak other languages on American television because they're throwing out like the most nastiest, most vile, vulgar shit out there. We have no idea what they're saying. Japanese wrestlers have done it, Russians have done it, Mexicans and Latin
so
people have done that.
Forth, yeah.
Oh my God, it's amazing.
Tamatonga does it all the time.
Yes. Well, he's more in English, motherfucker. Fuck you, Mike Elgin, motherfucker.
Come on, motherfucker. We're going to take those fucking IWGP Tag Team Championship, man.
Want the chicken, motherfucker?
I still love it.
But moving on.
The shit that Tajiri would say on ECW TV. Oh my God. Yes. It's full of like, fuck your mother and your dad smells of elderberries, all that.
You remember when Dr. Death and Muda were going at in All Japan? They were like, fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you!
Fuck you! And Muda would always like throw it like 5 fucks right before he did the Shining Wizard. Remember that? It's like he was psyching himself up to get in position to hit it. It's like, what are you doing, man?
It's kind of like Goku goes like.
Moving on to the next match of the show, the third championship match for the WWE Championship. Brock Lesnar defending against Hardcore Holly. Now,
main event Bob Holly.
Yeah. Now, let me preface this. So, they do the promo package where they go back to the September 12th, 02 episode of SmackDown where Brock dropped Holly on his head, broke his neck with the powerbomb. Now, up until recent years, it wasn't until like 5-6 years ago where it was truly brought out. There was theories for years that Brock did that on purpose for Holly sandbagging him with the powerbomb because when you have these two ingredients, Holly hated working with rookies, Brock hates people, it can be a recipe for disaster. And while it was, we find out years later that it was all an accident and that Brock called Holly all the time. So
yeah,
all the people who had them theories can put it to rest now.
Yeah.
Theories about Bob Holly were debunked when I met him.
Yeah,
he's
and
of
all people in 2004 to receive a WWE Championship match at the Rumble, Hardcore Holly?
I mean, if they wanted to end the feud, they could have just done it on SmackDown. In a random match, not on pay-per-view.
Had to give Brock something to do because they were closing the gap on his reign, and at least they put it on pay-per-view. It gives it some closure,
And we had no clue he was going to be leaving at this point either.
Match out of it, you were going to get a decent match out of it, which we did. It was fine.
It's like by this point, Brock Lesnar is pretty much checked out. Because just 2 months later, he's gone.
He's not there yet. He's not there.
Yeah, I'd say it would be after he dropped it to Eddie.
After he dropped the belt to Eddie. That's when he's pretty much, all right, I'm done.
Yeah.
Because he wouldn't have worked that hard for Eddie if he was checked out.
Yeah, this match, it was just there, in all honesty. And again, I can understand they wanted to conclude this storyline, but they didn't need to do it on pay-per-view. It could have just been on a SmackDown, no harm, no foul, but...
And I don't think anybody
didn't really need the belt on the line.
And that too.
Yeah, I don't think anybody really felt that Bob Hardcore Holly, formerly Thurman Sparky Plug, was that much of a threat to challenge Brock for the title.
And also with the build-up in the couple months prior when Holly came back in time for Survivor Series going forward... The booking, this should have been like a hardcore and something no DQ match. That's how this match should have been. And if that were the case, this would have been entertaining as hell. But it was just a normal match. And
Hardcore Holly should have been like at least I Quit, Last Man Standing.
Anything.
I don't know, a cage match would have been even better.
Do an unsanctioned match with no belt on the line. Let them go out for like 10, 15 minutes and beat the shit out of each other.
Yes.
It would have been good.
Yeah,
and I would think that even though that everything we're saying makes sense, I think that Sean and Trips would be like, no, you can't have that on our show because we've got the Last Man Standing match. It's going to take away from our match at that time.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can't do that, Vince.
Oh,
Vince,
can't do that,
Vince, that's our match.
I can't do that. I have a match
doesn't
with
work for
Sean.
me.
And there's one thing I envy Triple H.
I can't do that
was
with Triple
2000
H tonight.
was 2003 Stephanie. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
All tied on that.
All time, man. That's right.
But
Has
in the
his
end,
Oh
own-
my god.
But in the end, Brock Lesnar defeated Hardcore Holly to retain the WWE Championship in 6 minutes 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Now that we're through the bad stuff with the undercard, let's get to the best stuff, please. We kick
One match left.
2 matches left.
But remember, don't just acknowledge the last
Before the
match.
Rumble.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So up next, the penultimate match of the show and the final championship match of the night. Last man standing match for the World Heavyweight Championship. Triple H defending against Shawn Michaels. Now,
You want to know why the undercard went so damn fast? It's because of this match right here.
yes.
Mhm.
So in the build-up, we go all the way back to summer of 2002 when Shawn came back, and it seemed like we were going to get DX until Triple H turned on Shawn, and then we get the match at SummerSlam, then the Chamber, and then Armageddon 02, and then the feud gets revamped at the end of 2003 with the match at the final Raw of the year with the Dusty finish leading to this match. And they really tried hard with the build-up, like Shawn just trying to bury the shit out of Triple H, saying, "Hey, I'm always been better than you," which is sadly true.
It's true.
It's true, but
It's true.
and after all, Triple H's entire career can be defined as this. He was great in the ring, but no Shawn Michaels. He was great on
How
the
many
mic,
people
but
are, how many are Shawn Michaels? How many can you put up there that are actually at that level, though? So
But anyways, like Triple H's whole career could be defined as this: he was great in the ring, but no Shawn Michaels. Great on the mic, but no Rock. Great at racking up championships, but no John Cena. It's like he's like the second best in like everything.
Yeah.
People have described him as the guy who worked with the guys who made the money.
That's what Cornette
Yes.
said. Yes.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yes.
Mhm.
But we get this match. I thought this was an amazing last man standing match. One of the better ones. Definitely top 5, and maybe the bloodiest one in company
Oh, yeah.
history. Like, I don't know if they shattered the Muda scale in this match, but if they did,
no,
No.
No.
There's no blood on the
even
referee.
oh, that's
Not even
true.
close.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, and the one part that doesn't make sense when they bled, Shawn bleeds after he misses a crossbody into the announce
Yeah.
table.
Now that you bring that up, I was like, I saw the footage, I rewind the footage. I'm like, you can see Shawn as he's going to the table, doesn't hit the face, and I'm like, how is he bleeding? I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah,
he doesn't hit his. He doesn't go
it
face
doesn't,
first.
It doesn't hit it. If you would have seen like him hitting the table, that's a different story. And again, why always the Spanish announcing table? What the hell? What the hell? Come on!
I just thought that was the biggest rib on those guys all the time.
Yeah, I mean, it worked for a couple of years until they got the Spanish announce table out of the pay-per-views.
Mm-hmm.
It's still there. It's just not right now, but
Yeah.
yeah. And then the brutal chair shot to Triple H, and then bloop, color off him,
Mm-hmm.
and then the ring just gets caked with blood.
Mm-hmm.
I love the shot of with the camera is looking at Shawn's face all blooded up. I just thought it was a great shot that they got. I mean, oh my god, you can see all of Shawn's like, what the hell did I get myself into now? I need to do something. He was like crimson.
Yep.
So blooded.
Yeah, that was one thing about Shawn too, was the facials that he would have just really added to the emotion and the story, which not a lot of people, but many people still don't grasp. You know, like this is your moneymaker, as Vince always says. You got to take care of this, and this will get you every emotion, every connection with the audience. Just go back to WrestleMania last year. Who's the one guy who got to look in the camera and say thank you? Drew McIntyre. You think that didn't get him over with people? Or he just looks out and reaches out?
Right.
Because they're looking here. This is, and he's focusing on them.
And the crowd was just behind Shawn throughout this entire match. They were like chanting HBK, HBK. The pop that he got when he's switching music Triple H for the first time. I mean, holy crap! everyone was rooting for Sean, and then we get the finish. But yeah,
Which
now we know.
Yep.
But the
Mhm.
whole build-up was 1 second. That's
Mhm.
that's what's gonna. And then
Mhm.
he hits the sweet chin music, and they're both laid out.
Yep.
Finish.
I mean,
I kind of hate non-finishes and last man standings, but in this case, this
You
is one of
understand
those
why,
where it
yeah.
made sense because, well, look at the main event of WrestleMania.
Right.
They were building up to it. They wanted to make it so Sean felt that his that match was disputed. There wasn't a set
Decisive
clear
victor.
winner.
Yeah.
mhm.
And also, if you look at the
Second
match,
match.
But we got this
Then-
other guy involved too. So
you look at the match overall, there's nothing like really out of the ordinary spectacular about it. It is as basic as it goes. First 5 minutes is pretty much punch and kick. And they're just feeding off the crowd. They're building it slowly. They're supposed to. Then we take it outside. Then we get a policy on. Remember, they go up on the one announce table, and then they get off the announce table, and the crowd freaking boos the shit out of it. And now
Wow.
after that, you get Sean going through it. So that's that.
Mhm.
That's that roller coaster deal there, and we get blood here. And then Triple H just bang down goes Sean. Count him. Wait. Up. Bang. Down he goes.
Yep.
Count him. Wait. Just build. And it's
very simple
that one-
Memphis psychology there.
very simplistic stuff. Craziest thing Triple H takes is a back body drop over the top rope to the floor. Nowadays, you'd have to see that, all over the place, into the crowd, through the freaking entranceway, through a table.
Package pile driver through 5 tables onto a concrete.
Off the ladder.
On the ladder.
Off the ladder.
Yeah.
The sweet chin music at the end. Everybody thought that Sean was going to win the belt after that one sweet chin music at the end.
Mhm.
Yep. And the fact he doesn't
Yeah.
get up, Signature's like, up, that's it. Keep going. And even
And then
acknowledging that on the commentary, JR saying to the King, this audience is not happy with that decision. Yes, good. Acknowledge that. It adds to the story. We will get you to the decisive victor one day. You just have to hang on.
Now I want to ask this question: would you, if you were the booker at the time, and you decided to end the story right there at the last man standing, would you give it to Sean, or would you still give it to Hunter?
Hunter.
Hunter.
Considering
Because
what they were
if
going to do,
Benoit's still
it had
in
to
the
have gone to
fold,
Hunter.
If your plan is to
Benoit's
have Benoit win the
Benoit's still
Rumble.
in the folds. If Benoit's still in the folds, you want a good heel going in.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, but
One, at this point, he could lose 1,000 times and he's still fucking over.
but in that way, we would still get the Hell in a Cell match.
I'd say, honestly, yeah, we probably would have, because they would have still been going at each other regardless.
Yeah.
So either way you
Because they
slice
were the
it,
most important thing on Raw. They just
Yeah.
didn't have the belt.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. But in the end, Triple H versus Shawn Michaels ended in a draw at 22 minutes 46 seconds.
And you notice, after that, 2 stretchers, one guy gets carried out on one. And we would see this several years later with Triple H and The Undertaker,
Yeah.
where Undertaker gets carried out, Triple H walks out, which would become an underlying storyline to the rematch.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So now, before we get into the main event, we have this segment with Bischoff and Heyman coming out. Bischoff roasting the crowd. Heyman comes out, says nothing, just beats the fuck out of him. I bet you Heyman was jumping for joy to get to do that because of how much he hated Bischoff.
AC up.
And then Austin comes out and breaks it all up.
It was him.
Who started it?
He started it. He started it. He started it.
Over.
And it's funny. Both Heyman and Austin drinking a beer. We all know that Heyman gave Austin at the time in the 90s his
95 in ECW,
95.
something to do.
I mean, so he
beforehand.
was like, you know what? Here's for that. Fuck you, stunner. Pow.
Yeah. But now we get...
Hell leave.
Yep. Now time for the main event of the night. The Royal Rumble match that does not exist anymore.
Error 404.
Uh-huh.
The 30-man Royal Rumble match. So, here is the
Overall,
entry.
Royal Rumble 2004 was.
So, all the entrants in the following order. Chris Benoit, Randy Orton, Mark Henry, Tajiri, Bradshaw, Rhino, Matt Hardy, Scott Steiner, Matt Morgan, the Hurricane, Booker T, Kane, Spike Dudley, Rikishi, Rene Dupree, A-Train, Sheldon Benjamin, Ernest Miller, Kurt Angle, Rico, Test, I'll explain that later, Christian, Nunzio, Chris Jericho, Charlie Haas, Billy Gunn, John Cena, Rob Van Dam, and Goldberg. So we kick things off with Benoit and Orton, and these two were together in the match for quite a while, and then out comes Mark Henry, and he's in there for a little bit. Tajiri and Bradshaw all entered the fold, and this is so yeah, it's weird looking back at Bradshaw early in 2004 as the APA. When you fast forward 2-3 months later, he's JBL.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, and I told you this before we started. If you look at this Rumble, the only person still active is Randy. Everyone else here is either dead, retired,
part-time, or in a different company.
Shelton.
Oh, Shelton's there too.
Sheldon, Sheldon. Yeah, forgot about Sheldon.
Shelton's tag team champions right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely forgot about Sheldon. But yeah, it's weird. The landscape of 04 was so odd at the time.
Only 17 years. And see what happened.
There's probably one more that's still active. That's
maybe
still active today in WWE. Yeah, looking at the list, I think it's only Sheldon and Orton. Whereas like Kane's part-time, Cena's part-time, Big Show part-time,
Goldberg once in a while.
Every once in a while.
Steiner's out. Booker T retired.
Rhino's over in Impact. Matt Hardy's in AEW.
Mark Henry's done.
Yeah.
A-Train's the trainer.
Test is on. Matt Morgan's out of the business.
I think Tajiri is still relatively active in Japan. So
yeah, just not here though.
Yeah. Christian's
Retired.
retired.
Rikishi retired. Booker retired.
Angle
retired. Bradshaw
Angle should retire, but thinks he can still do it.
Big Show
has a podcast.
Big Show is part-time. Jericho's still in AEW.
RVD was an Impact. I don't know if he's still...
not anymore.
Billy Gunn
Goldberg.
training AEW. Yeah, Goldberg, you see him every once in a while. But anyways, so Bradshaw would be the first one eliminated, and he would last only 38 seconds. Then Tajiri would be eliminated next by Rhino. Tajiri would only last 3 minutes 39 seconds. Mark Henry, next one eliminated by Chris Benoit, and he lasted 5 minutes 14 seconds. Hurricane eliminated next by Matt Morgan, and he would only last 19 seconds. Scott Steiner, the next one, eliminated by Booker T, and Steiner would last 6 minutes 49 seconds. And then when Kane gets in the match, he goes cleaning house, and then the countdown for number 13, gong! We getting the tease for the return of the dead man.
I love Kane's expression like, no, I buried you alive. There's no way.
And then Booker would eliminate Kane, and Kane lasted 90 seconds. And then out comes Spike Dudley, and Kane just beats him up and takes him out of the match.
He never enter the Rumble.
No, he never entered. So technically,
Scotty Too Hottie.
Technically, Spike Dudley's been in a Royal Rumble match for 17 years.
Yeah, Kurt
Angle.
Spike showed no fear against Kane. While Scotty Too Hottie was all like,
Yeah.
Spike at least kept the no, not afraid of big guys gimmick that carried over from ECW.
Yeah.
Look, the record is still Randy Savage being in the Rumble for 30 years.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, then after Spike gets eliminated, quote unquote, then nice. Rhino gets eliminated next by Chris Benoit. Rhino would last 14 minutes, scoring 1 elimination. Matt Hardy would be the next one eliminated by Rene Dupree, of all people, and he would last 14 minutes, 18 seconds.
I actually saw an independent horror movie last year with Rene Dupree in it called Wrestle Massacre.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
That was good, too.
Rene Dupree did a COVID promotional with Chono.
Oh shit! Wow.
Yeah,
Isn't he still relatively young?
Yeah, he's like he was what 23.
He was 20.
So
Yeah,
he'd
he
be
was 20.
39, 40 now by this point.
Renee
He's in
is
great shape too.
37.
37. Oh,
young.
he was way
He's
younger than
like
I remember.
19 years old in OVW.
He's-
Yeah, he just recently did like a commercial with Chono on YouTube for COVID. And it just like Chono going, "Hello everyone, Chono," and Rene Dupree comes and goes, "Hey Chono, it's my turn to talk." Oh, and Chono walks
I mean,
off. And then Rene Dupree just like, "Hey everyone, wear your mask, social distance, blah 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 blah."
I mean, looking at recent Renee photos, man, he's in such a good shape.
Oh, good, man.
Yeah.
I don't know why WWE doesn't get him. I mean,
Because he's older.
I know,
He's
but
older.
at least give him a run with the IC.
So he
title
should be
a
pushed
bit.
now that he's older.
Yeah,
That's a good point. Yeah.
yeah, he should.
Give him the IC
We're not
title.
angry. We're not angry at France anymore, so that's why they're not going to hire him. That's why he was hired. Remember, there was a time when America hated France.
Our resistance.
Yeah, La Resistance. Sylvain Grenier and Rob Conway was the sympathizer and all that garbage. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're not
Give
mad at
him-
France anymore.
Yeah.
Remember that brief time where it was called Freedom Toast, not French Toast? Remember that? I do. It was stupid.
I don't remember it.
Freedom
My-
toast.
My brain was like, I don't know what's going on. I was like probably 7 years old when that happened.
It was 2002, for God's sake. Jesus.
Yeah. But anyways, after Renee was out, Matt Morgan was eliminated by Chris Benoit. Matt Morgan lasted 12 minutes, 14 seconds, scoring 1 elimination. Rikishi, the next...
I know why they wouldn't take him back, because all the guys that didn't like La Resistance for being supposedly whiners about the Dudley Boys being stiff are all agents now over there.
That's a good point, too. Yeah.
They're like, yeah,
Oh,
we don't
yeah.
want him
And
back.
it was more they were mad at Sylvain because he had more the
Yeah.
greenhorn, whiny attitude.
We are green.
Dupree's got a background. Dupree's
Yeah,
comes from a
that was
wrestling
a
background.
wrestler. So.
Grenier was a model.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Where was I? Oh, yeah. After Matt Morgan, Rikishi would be the next one eliminated by Randy Orton, lasting 3 minutes, 48 seconds as he scored 1 elimination. Booker T, next one eliminated by Randy Orton as he would last 9 minutes, 11 seconds, scoring 2 eliminations. A-Train, the next one eliminated by Chris Benoit. A-Train lasted 1 minute, 44 seconds. Shelton Benjamin would be the next one eliminated by Randy Orton, lasted only 37 seconds. And then the dumbest fucking thing of this match, fucking Ernest the Cat Miller. When somebody called my mama, yeah, remember, young kids out there that remember Brodus Clay. Yeah, somebody else was doing this gimmick before him.
Bro, it's called Philadelphia Soul. The godfather of soul was James Brown. The Philadelphia crowd is gonna pop, bro.
Can you imagine one night only, Eris the Cat Miller and Brodus Clay? Make it a tag
I
team.
don't know.
Not anymore, not now, but yes, it would have been fun.
I'm the greatest.
It took about 7 years for them to find out to figure out what to do with that music.
Yep.
7 or 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody call my mama, better somebody call my mama.
And it skyrocketed Naomi's career.
Yes.
Yes.
And sadly, it was too much use of Cameron's time.
That's true. Yes.
Ugh,
Yeah.
I hate her so much. Anyways,
Match was Alicia Fox versus Molina.
and Austin's like, who?
That's the greatest match of all time.
Yeah, that was.
Out of all the matches in the history of wrestling, that's your favorite?
Yeah.
Don't you know I am new to this?
Don't you? Why are you being stiff with me? Don't you know I am green?
And if I were Austin, I would have just. If I was Austin in that moment when I heard her say Melina Alicia Fox, I would have just said, "Get out right now." I would have just said, "Get out right now." I'd be like
We said
Gordon
that to
Ramsay,
you,
"You're
Dr.
out."
Gordy, what would you have done? Doc would have killed us.
Thank you. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I would kill him.
But
Yeah,
anyway,
Then why
I
are you
would've been
doing
like-
this to us?
I know it's different
Fuck
business
outta
now,
here.
guys. Can't be like that.
but
Fuck with me.
Fuck with me! Fuck with me!
Yes.
but now we're
God damn, we ain't just here to put you fucking guys over.
moving on.
Stupid.
Anyways, so next up, Ernest Miller eliminated by Randy Orton. He would last 56 seconds. Rico, the next one, eliminated by Randy Orton, as he would last only 1 minute 6 seconds. And then 21 hits, test music happens. Then we go backstage. He's laid out, and Austin's like, is he going to make it? No. Why? You get your ass to the ring now! And it's Mick Foley. And before the match, I completely forgot about this. There was a reserved seat for Mick Foley in the crowd. And they were building this thing up. Like, if Mick Foley doesn't show up, JR himself would call Foley a coward. And before the match, he was like saying, well, we still got time, and Taz is like, come on, he ain't gonna show up. Okay, fine, he's a coward. And I hate to say it. Well, then out came Foley. And then out came Foley and got, maybe, along with Austin, the biggest pop of the show. Because holy shit, the crowd went nuts.
What he did to Test to inflict enough damage to take Test out of
Yeah,
Rumble.
exactly. Like,
Taco.
Did he give him the Texas pile driver on the concrete? Or?
Maybe.
The stump puller pile driver. You got to remember, too, this was really heavy shit at that time. When Randy spit in Mick's face and he just took that, there was like a lot of talk backstage about that, whether he should have done it or not. This was unheard of stuff that Mick thought enough of Randy that he would be willing to have a green guy do that to him. I mean, let's face it, Mick was a top guy, especially in this era here. And he's beloved by the fans and everything he gave of himself to the business. And to have him openly say, yes, I want Randy to spit in my face and I'm not going to fight back was really a big... The locker room was split about that. Even Austin went up to Foley. He's like, you consider me a straight shooter, right? He's like, yeah. I don't know why the fuck you did that. That was a bad move. And, you know...
Man, look at it right now.
But you look back, and it was perfect because they'd set off their feud that would last about 5 months.
And, yeah, exactly. And even though Mick admittedly kind of screws up the match they would have at WrestleMania, that's Mick's words, not
But he
mine,
redeemed himself with the match at Backlash, which was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Which, yeah, and... as I think he said, the most important bump in that time frame for Randy Orton was when he took that first bump in the tax.
Yes,
because that showed he was willing to do that too. Like, okay, hardcore legend, just let me spit in his face, and he doesn't get back at me. I gotta fucking take this bump. If I don't, I'm a bitch, and he does.
Randy, you are a man now.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Actually, no.
And-
He was not a man until he faced Undertaker. That's when he became a man.
Well, he matured enough in kayfabe as the character.
Yeah.
We know behind the scenes he was still a dick.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
in kayfabe,
Hey,
kayfabe,
Mr. Bragg, let me give you a surprise.
Yeah, exactly.
and
like in your bag, I don't know.
But yeah, and real quick, not to go off topic again, but like speaking of Orton taking the tax bump, I love how they preface that on that episode of Storytime where he's talking about like, hey, I want to do this hardcore match. Fuck yeah, let's do it. And he goes and gets that burlap sack of tax, and he took one home with him to his apartment, and would test and like lean back on it to test and feel it, and then boom. He's like, what have I got myself into? I can't get these tacks out of my head. And then he takes the bump, and then when he goes to the back first time to get some of them out, Flair's pulling him himself. He's like, God damn it, kid, why would you do this? I shouldn't have done this.
And he's also stupid in thinking that one tack is going to feel the same as 50. It doesn't.
I know.
You know the old gimmick, the bed of nails shit?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt. Why? Because your body is spread out evenly across the nails. Do that with one nail, and you'll see why it's a big difference.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Tacks suck. I know. Had him here. Not fun.
But when Foley shows up, goes straight after Orton. I love Orton's reaction, like, oh shit. And then Foley eliminates Orton and himself as Orton lasted 33 minutes, 44 seconds, scoring 5 eliminations, where Foley got 2, technically, lasted 43 seconds, and then they would just keep going at it up the stage until Nunzio comes out at 23, even though Christian came out beforehand. Nunzio comes out and he gets the Sacco, and then he would play hide and seek in the corner, like, stay off of me! Like, get away from me! But anyways, Where was I? Oh yeah, so after Foley and Orton, Christian would be the next one eliminated by Jericho and lasted 7 minutes 39 seconds. I love how they talk about the year prior. Jericho eliminated Christian then, and they were still a tag team throughout all this time, leading up to the match at Mania 20 with the third wheel of it all being Trish. But
that
yeah.
went nowhere. You
Dollar
know, yeah,
Canadian.
That went absolutely nowhere.
Yeah.
Great match at WrestleMania, but
You didn't see Trish with Christian much often afterwards. Maybe for like a month or two, and that was it.
She got hurt.
Yeah. So after Christian eliminated, Charlie Haas would be the next one eliminated. And then the ring started to get filled up here by this point. When you see guys come in one by one, Haas would be the next one eliminated by Goldberg, as Haas lasted 6 minutes 53 seconds.
I love Haas's elimination. Goldberg is like pushes him like just like honestly like ooh, it oversells it. If you look at him, I'm like, man.
Billy Gunn, next one eliminated by Goldberg and lasted 5 minutes 37 seconds. Nunzio, the next one eliminated by Goldberg, and Nunzio lasted 3 minutes 48 seconds. And then, forgot to mention this earlier in the show, prior to the Rumble, Goldberg getting interviewed, and then Brock's coming in like, you should be interviewing me, I retained the title. And then Goldberg messing with Brock, and this was started...
Right, hardcore.
Yeah, ain't that right, hardcore? And
Last
remember,
time I saw you, what happened to your belt?
yeah, because remember, this started 2 months prior at Survivor Series when Brock was getting interviewed and Goldberg with the big gold belt introducing each other, and then we get the continuation of that here, and then in the Rumble, after Goldberg eliminates 3 people, out comes Brock out of nowhere, F5's Goldberg, you're next, you stump son of a bitch! And then... next elimination was Goldberg out, eliminated by Angle, and Goldberg lasted 2 minutes 8 seconds, scoring 3 eliminations, setting up what should have been an amazing WrestleMania match, which turned out to be the worst in the Mania history. But
if it had been a different time period, it would have been better. Why? Because everybody knew both Bill and Brock were going bye-bye.
yeah, if this was like a year before, yeah, if it was a different year, this would have been amazing, because that was, looking back, that was one of the big matches of Mania 20. But
then you fast forward to WrestleMania 33,
and they had a great 5-minute match. So, but after Goldberg was eliminated, then John Cena would be the next one eliminated by Big Show, as he lasted 7 minutes 37 seconds. And I'm shocked. When Cena landed and his knee went sideways, I'm shocked.
He fucked up his knee on that.
He did fuck up his knee, but I'm surprised it wasn't worse than what it ended up being. Like, I'm shocked he didn't tear an ACL or PCL from that, because that was bad.
Or something, but it was something he could work with.
Yeah. Then after Cena's elimination, RVD was the next one eliminated by Big Show, and he lasted 6 minutes 44 seconds, leaving the final 4 of Chris Jericho, Kurt Angle, Big Show, and Chris Benoit, who's still been in it this whole time. Jericho would be the next one out, being eliminated by Big Show, and lasted 14 minutes 58 seconds, scoring 1 elimination. Then Angle, who they built up, was guaranteed to win and dedicated to the armed forces, the troops and stuff. He gets eliminated, lasted 29 minutes, 4 seconds, scoring 1 elimination. Leaving the final 2 of Big Show and Benoit, and I actually really liked the finish to this match. You know, Benoit, and you notice, Benoit was eliminating big guys left and right in this entire match. He eliminated A-Train, he eliminated Morgan, he eliminated Henry.
Mark Henry.
He eliminated Bradshaw. Like, he was eliminating big guys left and right, so it came down to him and Big Show, and getting the front face lock over the top, and then just slowly teeter, out goes Big Show.
Bam.
Chris Benoit would end up winning the Royal Rumble match with 6 eliminations, setting, at the time, longevity record of 61 minutes 35 seconds, beating out Backlund by 5 seconds. And so Chris Benoit wins the Royal Rumble match by last eliminating Big Show at 61 minutes 5 seconds. At the time, one of the greatest Royal Rumble matches of all time. Up there in the top 5, but now knowing what we know with what happened with Benoit, it's still a great match, but it's strange looking back at it now with
It's
the
got that
benefit of
sort switch
hindsight.
to it.
Yeah, because even when you go on ESPN.com, they say Eddie Guerrero was the winner of the 04 Rumble because he won the SmackDown Rumble shortly after to get the shot against Brock at No Way Out. True thing. If you go to ESPN.com, you look up WWE Royal Rumble winners, it says Eddie Guerrero 2004.
Wow.
But it is what it is. So, overall, Royal Rumble 2004... I don't know how to describe this show, really, because, was it a great show? Fuck, no, it was not a great show at all, but was it
It's a bottom-tier Rumble show.
Yeah, but was it a bad show? No. I would say, for me, I would say at best this show was a mediocre pay-per-view. At worst, a bad show, but not completely bad. I would say.
Yeah, it's a fair show. It's nothing horrible, but it's nowhere near great.
Yeah.
No.
Because, again, the world title match and the Rumble match was great. Even Eddie and Chavo was good for what it was, but the rest of the show just don't even bother. Yeah. So, would we recommend this show? I would say at least watch it once. Just so you could say, for historical reasons, and the last two matches are matches you could go back and watch over and over. And there you have it. But now, for favorite, least favorite, and the sleeper. For me, favorite match is the Rumble match, despite a hindsight behind it. Least favorite match, Brock and Hardcore. The sleeper match, I'm going to give it to Eddie versus Chavo. Ricky?
Favorite was the Rumble. Sleeper was the Eddie and Chavo match. And what was the other option? I forgot.
Least favorite.
Least favorite, the Mysterio Noble match.
Scott?
I'm just going to go with Ricky. I take the same picks.
Walter?
I'm going to go with... I'm going to say HBK and Triple H was my favorite match of the card. Least favorite match was Ray and Jamie Noble.
And then your sleeper?
Sleeper, the Rumble.
And James?
Favorite was the Rumble. Least favorite was the Cruiserweight title. Sleeper was the World Heavyweight Championship match.
Okay.
All right, and now also Push Job Endeavor. What do we got for this week?
Well, I had a few groupings that I made, but I think I'm just going to go with this one because I think it's kind of hard. Now, remember, you have to think in context of the time, 2004. Okay, of the three names I'm going to give, you got a Push one, you got a Job one, and Future Endeavor one. The names, gentlemen, are Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit, Rey Mysterio.
Fuck.
Jeez.
Fuck me.
I want to make a hard one this week. Again, think in context of the time. You know.
Okay, at the time, without what we know right now.
Yep. Don't even think. You can't even think about what has happened.
I would endeavor
2004.
I would endeavor Ray because I think Ray was going nowhere. He had some things going in AAA. He would have been better there. Job. Oh, son of a bitch! That's hard. I mean, I don't want to jump neither Eddie nor Benoit, especially Eddie, because I love Eddie. But knowing Eddie, he can do better matches. He could have, build up younger guys. So I'm gonna job Eddie, even though and push Benoit.
Okay. Job Eddie. Future Endeavor Ray, okay.
Well, I guess I would endeavor Ray because 2004 he was really not doing anything. It was like 1 week he's in the Cruiserweight title picture, the next week he's in a tag team, the next week he's working against Mordecai, then the next week he's back in the Cruiserweights. It's like in the tag titles. It's like just
and
pick
don't forget
something.
about working WWE title matches.
Well, yeah, that's true.
2004 Rey Mysterio was kind of like Shawn Spears in AEW. We have no idea what the hell to do with him.
Yeah. Now for Push and Job,
the other company treated him bad, but now we're here. We have no idea what to do.
Now for push and job, considering where things would go between these two, I'm going to go backwards. I'm going to push Eddie and job Benoit, because at least like after Eddie and Benoit when they lost the titles, Eddie was still doing, I think, better things than Benoit, because Benoit, after he lost the big gold belt, he was floundering on Raw, and then when they put him to SmackDown, yeah, they put him in the US title hunt a lot. Whereas Eddie would go on to team with Ray and have a solid feud with Ray, even though the stupidity behind the ladder match. And then, by all that counts, had he not passed, he was going to get the big gold belt from Batista by the end of 2005. So he would have ended up getting the belt back eventually. So I would push Eddie and job Benoit.
Okay. Walt, what you got?
I'm actually with Levi on this one. I will endeavor Ray. All right. Like I said, there's other things he can do. There's more versatility for him, perhaps in AAA or even on TNA or wherever, or even go to Japan and eventually bring him back. Job Benoit and push Eddie, because there's a lot more you can do with Eddie.
Mm-hmm.
Eddie brought forth comedy. Eddie brought forth seriousness. Eddie could bring forth high flying and mat wrestling. Benoit, was pretty straightforward and I guess
sterile technical wrestler. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Giant Oompa Loompa.
All right.
James, what do you got?
I'm pushing Benoit because he had a lot of momentum going for him throughout 2003 heading into 2004. From the match he had with Angle the year prior all the way through to the Royal Rumble. He had a lot of momentum going for him. I would job Guerrero and I would endeavor Mysterio. Let him go to TNA and do stuff in the X Division there.
I was just about to say, when Walter brought him going to TNA, could you imagine if Ray had gone to TNA in 2004, 2005? Oh my god, the matches.
Ooh.
AJ, Daniels, Saban, even Joe would have been amazing. Holy fuck.
Send him a Dragon Gate.
Yeah.
And then Ultimate X matches.
Oh god, he would have been amazing in those.
Plus, he would have worked a lighter schedule, meaning less chance at injuries.
Yes.
Not to mention you have a draw, I guess you can say. And
A big name value draw that they needed more of at the time.
Yep.
Right.
And eventually
Would have been that.
Open the door back up for Ray about a year or two later.
Maybe in 2006 you can bring him
Let him
back.
regain his footing, and then bring him back in. Because when Ray came around, it's like for the first couple of years they really couldn't figure out what to do with him.
Yeah. All right, now Scott, what would you do in this situation?
I'm agreeing with the idea of pushing Eddie, of course, because of the versatility that he's getting over hardcore with the fans. He's lovable and he's aggressive, and he can cut the promo. He can work with anybody and just go that route. But I was really back and forth with the idea of Ray and Benoit because of what you guys just said. You can imagine Ray in TNA or Japan, but imagine Benoit in TNA, Ring of Honor, New Japan. The matches you could have seen Benoit have. How about Benoit and CM Punk in Ring of Honor?
Oh, yeah.
Benoit Tanahashi in New Japan.
How about Benoit and Daniels? Like you were saying, like there's so many good matches that could have happened too. So just to throw it against the wall, I would say push Eddie, and this is fantasy now, push Eddie, job Ray, and endeavor Benoit so we could see those matches in Japan, TNA, Ring of Honor, wherever. And eventually, of course, Chris would come back. But yeah, it's just fantasy world booking, so that's where you have that.
Now, I got a question. Pushing Eddie, would you move him to Raw?
No.
Because he had nobody to work with on SmackDown.
Right.
Because you see, everybody was leaving. That's why his title reign was kind of because he had nobody to work with.
And on top of that, looking back in the history books, he was the lowest drawing WWE champion of all time.
In terms of attendance. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Which is crazy to think that Jinder Mahal was a higher draw than Eddie. Like, holy crap.
Jinder motherfucking Mahal.
I hope Ginger draws number 30 tomorrow night. Oh, which by the way, my daughter's been hounding me about this the whole time. I do have the first 2 entrants for the men's tomorrow night, and I have number 30 for the women's. You guys want them? I'll give them to you. If not, you can wait. That's cool.
Yep.
All right, well, now time to hang out.
Wait for it. We'll see. Wait for it.
All right, we'll hang out, shoot the shit, and answer some questions from people in the chat. We've had a couple from Arthur Jones, and I'm sorry I missed it. We were just trying to do everything else, but Mike, blah, 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 blah. Who was hot in the 2004 Royal Rumble, Nydia or Jackie Gata? Jackie Gata.
Jackie. Yeah. Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Lindsay earlier asked Scott to have Michelle tell the story where I tajiried all over the MF Pixie Sticks. Do you dare?
I'm not telling that story. It's okay.
I was gonna say, do you dare bring Michelle on to tell that?
No, not right now. She's watching SVU.
I haven't watched that show in a while.
It's one thing you don't want to do is separate a woman from her SVU.
That's right. He knows. He knows. He knows.
Chung chung.
Dong dong. Dick Wolf.
And earlier when we were talking about with
at the beginning of every episode of Law and Order SVU I watch, in the criminal justice system, sexually based offenses are considered especially heinous. I always go heinous.
And then you got Richard Belzer and Ice-T walking. We got a call from downtown. Dead girl, about 14.
Dead girl downtown. We got to go check it out right now.
Earlier when we were talking about Triple H, Lindsay brought up when we were talking about how we feel Triple H has always been like second best to a lot of stuff. She said he doesn't have to make the money. Steph is a walking checkbook. Very true.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very, very true. But I guess real quick we can do our Rumble predictions for tomorrow night.
Who's got the card?
I could pull it up.
Right.
There's only 2 matches that matter.
There's not a lot going on with the card right now.
Well, that's the Rumble anyway. So there's a women's tag title match. There's
the 2 world title matches and the 2 Rumbles. So for the tag title match, I'm gonna assume Asuka and Charlotte are gonna retain.
I'm going the opposite way.
I'm going with
Nia
Naya.
and Shayna's gonna win.
Yeah, I'm going with Nia and Shayna.
Nia and Shayna are going to get the belts back. Charlotte and Asuka are going to split, go into their respective programs right now, and probably they're going to build Dana and Mandy on the back end to be the next challengers. But let me get on this real quick before anyone else says it, because it's something I was thinking about. Let's just take the women's tag title and just put it on NXT and leave it there, because there's way better of a division of women there that can be dedicated to being tag teams in NXT than there is on the main rosters. Because main roster, you just put 2 women together, split them up, put 2 women together, split them up.
Yeah.
Down in NXT, you could have dedicated tag teams to fulfill a division. And once things start getting back to somewhat normal in some distant future, then you start bringing it back to the main roster, just like they did with the Cruiserweight title. Put NXT Women's title down and
have the women's Dusty Classic winners win the tag belts and then take them to NXT.
They would challenge. They'll become number 1 contenders for the tag titles and face whoever the champions are at WrestleMania.
That or just let the tag team champions bounce between all 3 shows.
That's what they're supposed to be doing right now anyway.
Yeah, that's what they're supposed to be doing, but you don't see them on it.
But I say, don't even worry about that. Dedicate it to NXT. Leave it down there. And just let it be there for the time being.
Yeah. And then for Goldberg and Drew. I'm going Drew on that because
I would like to see Drew go over, but here's the thing: there's a lot. I know everyone's all, oh, fuck Goldberg, he's old. Let's see what happens when 61-year-old Sting hits a Stinger Splash and can't wrestle anymore.
Yeah.
All right.
True.
There's a lot you can do with this, okay? Like,
Tons.
There's a ton. Okay, here's one thing we can have happen. Drew hits the Claymore, fucks up his ankle, and can't move, okay? Or tries to hit the Claymore and misses, fucks up his ankle. You think Goldberg is going to show compassion? Goldberg is going to be, okay, cool.
Nope.
No, he's going to spear him. He's going to let Drew get up. He's going to spear him again. He's going to become a savage. third spear, jackhammer, got the belt on Goldberg. It's a fluke win because Drew got hurt during the match, and Goldberg all of a sudden we kind of get a heel turn out of it because Goldberg is turned into a savage, and now you can justifiably boo Goldberg. All right, while we spend the next couple of months getting Drew back over there to get to Mania to get the belt back from Goldberg.
Interesting.
Because here's the thing with Goldberg. I know everyone's like, Goldberg has a presence. That's his big thing, a presence.
Yeah.
He looks like a fucking machine, even at 52 or whatever years old. 52, 53, am I right?
54.
54, okay. Even he looks like a dude I would not want to fuck with. I'm not going to tell Goldberg to his face that he sucks.
No. No, thank you.
Matt Riddle, look how tough Matt Riddle got when he ran into Goldberg backstage.
Yeah.
Bro.
Hey, bro. I'm not your bro.
I'm not your bro.
Goldberg is not a technical master. He never was.
No.
Nope. Need to be.
But he's got a presence he's got the best spear in wrestling. I'll fucking
say it. I'll say it too.
Yeah.
I even said it on stream the other night playing the SmackDown vs. Raw 6. I was like, yeah, Goldberg's got the best spear.
It looks like he's killing you. Okay.
We just saw that in this 2004 Rumble when he does the fucking
Nunzio.
Yep.
Just plows right through him. Jesus. Cut him in half.
It's a fluke win, but let him be an asshole for the next 2-3 months building up to Mania. And take that thing that's been going around the internet with the older guys saying that the newer guys are soft. Play on that. Have Goldberg be the spokesman about that.
It's just the idea of Goldberg possibly dropping a belt at WrestleMania 2 years in a row. That is just like,
yeah,
I wouldn't want to do that.
But that's the one situation you want to go with. I'm perfectly okay with Drew
keeping it.
Moving on.
What are the odds of Drew and Roman having their rematch at WrestleMania title for title? Could you do that? What's going to happen to the winner of the Rumble? Or is Goldberg going to beat Drew, and then Drew decides, Goldberg, I'll be back. I'm going to SmackDown. I'm going to challenge Roman for his title at WrestleMania. So we get that rematch from Survivor Series, and Drew gets the win back.
Right.
And then who does Goldberg?
I'm okay with Drew going over on this, but it's not going to be the end of the world of Goldberg, because everyone acts like the wrestling apocalypse is upon us every time Goldberg wins.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And we also got to remember that because the WWE network is now going to be a part of Peacock, they're going to want a lot of recognizable names because they're going to have 25 million new people potentially seeing WrestleMania this year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Brilliant fucking move, Vince. I'm sorry. Brilliant move. A few more billion in your pocket on that one. And
we can say all we want about Vince McMahon. The motherfucker knows how to make money.
Yeah.
Yes,
he knows
does.
how to make money, and he knows how to survive. He's beaten everybody. He beat Gagne. He beat
because people, it's never been about wrestling with Vince. Never.
It's all about the money. It's all about the money.
What was the big talk in the world this past week? The whole situation with GameStop stock, that whole situation with the hedge fund and all that shit, and what the people from Reddit did. And thank you, people on Reddit, for doing that, because fuck hedge funds. And I work in finance, so I know what I'm talking about. But when you research WWE stock, look it up. You will see in the description of WWE, the word wrestling only comes up in the name of the company. It is never mentioned. It's licensing, marketing, various different things that can be, shown globally throughout the world, content and things like that. Wrestling does not matter when you're a WWE publicly traded company. So it's not about that. $5 billion to move SmackDown to Fox and another $1 billion to go to Peacock for the network. It's like,
you will never see a straightforward. You will never see a straightforward, athletic, sports-based wrestling product.
Nope.
Get to that level. Ever.
Nope.
You will not see New Japan get to that level. You will not see AEW get to that level. You will not see Impact or Ring of Honor or MLW ever even come close to any of that.
Nope.
All right, because they're not, because that's the thing. When you try to market yourself as a straightforward sports-based wrestling product, you're not grasping the entire. You're not grasping mom and pop Walmart.
Yep.
You're shrouding yourself. And WWE offers, that kind of stuff. Go watch NXT UK if that's what you want. Go watch NXT, okay? AEW is kind of like throwing that towel in. It's like we're sports entertainment too. We're gonna have Chris Jericho and MJF sing and dance.
Yep.
We're gonna have Brody Lee Jr. come out and be funny and cute and fight with Marco Stunt.
Yep.
Yeah.
And tell Excalibur to shut up, which was awesome.
Yes, I love that kid.
I love that kid. Yes. So yeah, just going on that little tirade right there, but yeah, I mean, I'm with you, Walter. It's like I think Drew's going to keep the title. I wouldn't be mad if he lost it.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. The rest of the internet we can't speak for though. They'll all have a meltdown.
Yeah.
Cancel their subscriptions and all that shit.
Until they come back next month.
Yeah.
Yep.
At that point, it's going to be on Peacock anyway, so you're going to have to sign up for a new thing anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Which I don't know how they're going to do that.
What Peacock's doing is allowing Mr. and Mrs. Walmart, who haven't watched since the Attitude Era, wrestling's on. It's on the network. It's on Peacock now. Let's watch it. You
can watch all the old stuff that we watched back in the day.
Yep.
Yeah.
25 million subscribers.
I look at it, I'm getting Peacock for free. That's the way I'm seeing it.
Yeah. He's getting free cock, folks. What? What'd I say? What?
Look at Ricky.
Why? What? I knew that was going to happen.
Ricky, you have got to understand me and Scott and everybody here.
Yes.
You have been around me for 3 years.
I know. I was waiting for one of you to make that joke. I was waiting.
God, imagine if he was on the other podcast, or the horror podcast, where we're 10 times worse.
Oh God, all the fucking ADD I have to deal with on that fucking show, Rick. You have no idea.
It's PG.
I see horror movies all the time. I've seen worse. Trust me.
Anyways, now that we've gone through that tangent. Anyways, moving on.
Universal title match.
Well, actually, we forgot something. The SmackDown Women's title match. Sasha's going to retain. No way they're
Sasha, yeah.
But Universal title match, I think Roman's going to keep it.
Now,
it's like, as cool.
This is the
keep
one.
that belt on Roman as long as possible.
This is
make
the
it a
one
good match. Make it where he almost loses. You got to make it where he almost loses.
This is the match that I'm kind of more interested because the Miz is a big factor in this match. Which if Kevin wins the title, Miz is gonna cash in. Miz cashes in, goes to Mania, and what if Kevin Owens, some weird reason, wins the title and wins the Rumble at the same night?
They could do that, and that could also be another weave in to do Drew versus Roman.
Or Roman.
There's too much stock.
Wins the Rumble.
Stock in Roman, though. There's too much invested in Roman. He's got too much work going.
Or Roman wins the Rumble and goes for the WWE title against Goldberg.
Or Drew, yeah.
Keep Roman away from Raw.
Yeah.
Have him stay on SmackDown. Keep that Universal title on him as long as possible because this is the best work of his career right now.
Yeah, but again, the Universal
have him lose it at the Rumble, like.
Yeah.
This isn't one of those shows where you traditionally.
The work is so good. He's got John Moxley second guessing, saying or saying things like, "Well, I haven't ruled out a WWE return."
Okay.
Mox wants to go back eventually.
Well, he will.
Well, if the Miz doesn't cash in on the Universal title, do you think he's gonna cash in on the WWE title?
He could.
I think he doesn't cash in at all. I think it expires.
He's got until July.
Yeah, because he didn't win it. He won it. There was that whole angle with Otis and him, and he won
Miz
it from
won the briefcase from
I think it
Otis.
expires in like May, whatever.
But technically, he hasn't had it a full year. But I mean, there's so many things you could do. You could have Goldberg hit the spear, but then something happened to Goldberg. He can't capitalize. In comes Miz, slides in, cash in, covers Drew 1, 2, 3, and wins the title that way. They've already had Drew drop the belt once, and he got it right back. It didn't really hurt him. So, I mean, again, we were talking about this before we actually started. This Rumble is really good this year because there's a lot of guessing games we can play here.
Yeah.
Different directions we could go with it. They're doing a great job with that this year. They really are.
I got 1 and 2 here.
Okay.
All right.
Does everyone want to hear it? Are we in consent? Yes.
Yes.
I vote
Yes.
yes.
I vote yes.
James,
I'm
you good?
Sure.
Sure.
Yep, we're good.
All right. If you don't want to hear it in the chat, close your ears and don't look.
Close your ears or sign. Actually, we want to give our predictions of who's going to win first before I give 1 and 2?
That's a good idea. Let's
Yes.
do
Yeah,
that.
it's a good
Yeah.
idea. Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, so for the men's rumble, currently we got 21 entrances confirmed. We have Daniel Bryan, Bobby Lashley, AJ Styles, Randy Orton, Otis, The Miz, Jey Uso, Cesaro, Jeff Hardy, Sami Zayn, Dolph Ziggler, Shinsuke Nakamura, Big E, John Morrison, Sheamus, Mustafa Ali, Edge, King Corbin, The Mysterios, and Braun Strowman, leaving 9 open spots.
Now those 9, it could be somebody from NXT.
I think
could
a
be
few of them are going to
superstar.
be NXT, maybe a couple Hall of Famers, and but everything else.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay, in my final four, I see Daniel Bryan, Edge, AJ, and maybe Cesaro, if not Shinsuke. And from those, I'm gonna go with AJ. As much as I love Daniel Bryan, maybe Daniel Bryan and AJ could be the final 2. I'm gonna go with AJ.
Okay.
For me, well, I've been hearing like rumblings that Brock could come back and actually win it this year, but I just don't see it. If he actually does come back, I'll be genuinely shocked. But if he does come back, then he would win. But if he doesn't come back, I'm gonna go
with Brock for.
I'm gonna go either Nakamura. It's between Nakamura and AJ for me, but I'm gonna go Nakamura.
Okay.
James.
I have to go with Edge.
Yeah.
Because I think Edge wins. They put him to SmackDown and do spear versus spear against Roman. There's so much of a story you can tell with Roman versus Edge.
Yes.
Like Edge, 9 years it took for him to come back, and it took him all those months to come back from another injury. He's not going to waste any more time that he has left. And Roman can be like, yeah, you're the right guy, right place at the wrong time. I'm going to end your comeback. Do something like that. I have to go with Edge here. Because there was a while there I was going Bryan. And then when Nakamura was starting to get his push, it's like, maybe they'll give it to him. But once Edge came back, it's like, Edge. I would not be upset with that.
Me neither. I mean, if Edge wins the Rumble, I will be perfectly okay with it.
Mm-hmm. And I have to agree with James there. I was thinking Edge is a very high contender to win it this year, just for that exact answer. That is exact meaning. It makes total sense. A good story. The comeback of the century. 2 Royal Rumbles back to back, and so forth. So I think Edge would be the winner. I would not be mad if I saw Big E win the Rumble this year. I don't know if he's in confirmed or not, or if he's in the list or not.
Big is in the Rumble.
If he is in the Rumble, I could see him winning it this year because he's been getting a huge push. He's got the IC title. I mentioned the idea of having him against possibly Roman or Drew, or be Roman. Him and Roman, again, title for title. Could have that at WrestleMania. I could see Big E being the guy to dethrone Roman because he's getting that push. The dream for me would be Shinsuke win it again. I'd love to see that because I love me some Shinsuke, but I just don't think he's going to win it this year, but I'd love to see it. So that's my joy. And the one crazy out of the ordinary pick that probably ain't going to happen because you just said 9 spots open. I don't know what this guy's doing right now, but The Rock.
What about Rollins?
I don't know if
yeah,
Rollins. I don't think he's coming back for a little while.
No, I don't think so.
Taking care of the baby.
He can come back.
He can if he wants, but even if he did, he's not going to win it.
Yeah.
All right. So
Walter.
Predict.
Well, here's my things here. My 3 picks were I was talking about it earlier today. My 3 picks were Edge or Nakamura or Daniel Bryan.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if Edge wins, it's going to be a display of resilience testicular fortitude, intestinal fortitude, and endurance because he is starting the Royal Rumble. Him and Orton are 1 and 2.
Wow.
Wait. So, is it possible they're gonna do? I mean, I'm gonna go on a long shot here. Would it be possible if Edge breaks Ray's record this year? If he goes all the way,
Could. He very well
goes
could.
all the way-
I hope he's healthy enough. I hope he's.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a
knowing
thing.
him, he's busting his ass.
Mm-hmm.
If they got him winning this, of course, he's going to begin it from beginning to end, and it's going to be pretty crazy and pretty cool to see.
Unless somehow, I mean, I'm trying to think who has a bigger grudge than Randy for Edge
The
right
Fiend.
now.
The Fiend is going to be a gimmicky entrance. I think he'll draw it, and like the lights will go out, and he'll show up, and then he'll eliminate Orton.
And then he'll eliminate
I
Orton.
mean,
yeah. So.
But for Edge, I'm like, if Edge goes at the very end and somehow gets eliminated, I mean, I see Edge in the final 4.
If Edge loses, it's going to be like one of those heartbreakingly close losses.
Right.
Kind of like Shawn Michaels 2010.
Kind of like with Shawn, yeah.
And it needs to
Kinda
be
like both him and Daniel Bryan are hanging on the ropes, and just so happens that Daniel's got enough grip on there to hang on, and Edge slips and falls off.
Yep. Or it could be somebody that betrays him and gets rid of him, or what?
I mean, I'm looking at the men's rumble. There's no chance in hell Owens is gonna win. There's no chance. There's no chance in hell John Morrison is gonna win. No. It would be cool.
John Morrison, since Kofi is not going to be in it this year, John Morrison will have the cool
Spider-Man
spot.
the save spot.
I mean, yeah,
because he originated it.
Mm-hmm. Dominic,
he's going to roll over the top rope and land on the Money in the Bank briefcase. And then he's going to grab it. He's going to frog hop it to the stairs and then get on the stairs and come back in the ring.
With Dominic, I don't think they're going to get. I mean, with Dominic, if you want to push Dominic, make him last
a good long while, like 20 plus minutes,
25 minutes.
Yeah.
Give Dominic the Iron Man. Make Dominic number 3. All right. I give Dominic the Iron Man spot though. Have him in there. Have him pay his dues. Okay. And throw him out towards the end. Give him at least 20 minutes though.
25 minutes. Yeah.
Like miracle eliminations. Like he eliminates Braun. Like Braun charges that, but he pulls the ropes down.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Now there was incidentally, there was another name I had on my list until a few hours ago, possibly winning it, and that was Keith Lee, who we found out that will not be on the show because Maya Yim confirmed that she has tested positive for corona, and her and Keith,
she's got symptoms too.
She's got symptoms too. So, and I think is right there too. So he's not in it.
I don't see.
And that's
Bobby.
the one thing I also heard. I heard they have like 4 or 5 scenarios lined up just in case, like between now and then, a couple of positive COVID cases show up and they can't perform.
I don't see Bobby winning the Rumble.
No.
Sami Zayn, no. Jeff Hardy might last a bit long. He will last long.
Maybe.
Mustafa Ali,
no.
Hell no.
He's got to do something. He's got to have some sort of resilience in that Rumble.
Yeah, he's got to dump out like somebody.
Corbin, hell no. What if Corbin's the one who eliminates Dominic?
Yeah, that'd be good.
That wouldn't. They could do that.
Go to a WrestleMania match.
Yeah, that'd be a great match. Great story to tell.
So, like I said, and then we still got the 9 other mystery entrants. I'm guessing maybe 2 to 3 NXT guys.
Yeah.
Adam Cole, Karrion Kross.
Balor.
Give me Walter. Priest. Give me motherfucking Walter. Give me motherfucking.
He's right there, Ricky. He's
right here.
Ricky, what do you want? He's right here.
I'm right here.
I'm just saying because RJ from the Horseman podcast loves Walter to death.
Yeah, he does.
Well, thank you.
Yes, yeah, he loves Walter. Yes, exactly. Yes, I love Walter too. I mean, it's just wonderful. So, yeah.
What can I say?
IYW stands for what?
I'm your friend, Walter.
That's right.
Now with the women's rumble, now that's a different story.
So currently for the women's rumble,
by the way, I'll just drop it. Number 30 is Natalya.
Because there was a match on the show that they did on Fox with a very pregnant Renee Paquette, Paige, and Booker T, and they did a match, Tamina versus Natalya, and you said Natalya won, so she's number 30.
So currently there are only 13.
So we know she's not winning.
Yeah. So currently there are only 13 women announced for the match: Nia Jax, Charlotte, Bianca Belair, Bayley, Mandy Rose, Dana Brooke, Peyton Royce, Alexa Bliss, Shayna Baszler, Liv Morgan, Ruby Riott, Tamina, and Natalia, leaving 17 open spots, which is mostly going to be NXT people.
Yeah.
A couple of returns.
We'll see, like
maybe.
Rhea Ripley, Shotzi Blackheart,
Ember Moon.
maybe a returning Chelsea Green.
Maybe one or two Hall of Famers.
Yep, Raquel will be in there probably.
Yep.
Now to win it,
I still got Bliss.
I mean, Alexa Bliss doesn't need to win it. It would be cool, but I'm gonna go with Bianca. She's been pushed lately.
And Bianca's on my list, so is Bliss, but so is Bayley, because she has not won the Rumble yet. And we would get Bayley Sasha at WrestleMania, theoretically. I know they just had their angle, and Sasha came out the winner, but we've always talked about that's the one match we want at WrestleMania. Bayley has not had a singles match at WrestleMania ever, and her and Sasha one-on-one for the title, WrestleMania, has been the scenario that we've all dreamed and talked about since Brooklyn. So that's where I'm more thinking Bayley's going to win it. So one thing she hasn't done yet.
Unless they go Bandy Rose, they're trying to make the new Trish.
I don't see that. I mean, I thought of Bianca too, but I think Bianca is like on the cusp of that, but I don't think she's going to get it yet. And Alexa, she could, but she already beat Asuka, so she has a claim. Don't really need the Rumble, so we shall see.
I mean,
I'm going with, and it doesn't mean she's going to WrestleMania. They can change shit around between now and then. They do. They've done that many times. I'm going with Lana. Lana's going to win by a fluke.
Oh,
God.
Lana will be like knocked out, sleeping in the corner, and the two girls left, say Bayley and I don't know,
Charlotte.
Charlotte end up eliminating each other.
And Lana wins.
Lana's just laying there, the winner.
That'd be an interesting.
And Nia comes out and puts her through a table for good measure.
That'd be an interesting idea, but the whole internet's gonna be, what this is.
Oh my God! So
who cares about the internet?
I know.
Who
the
fans
fuck
are
cares?
never happy now. No. Who cares?
I'm surprised Billie Kay's not in the Rumble.
She probably will get
She might be.
She probably will.
No, she'll do a comedy spot. She'll come out with her headshots and her resume and get tossed.
Yep.
Yeah.
I swear to God, if the internet was around,
I think
if Walter the internet was around in 1986, they'd be throwing a fit over Ronnie Garvin and drag.
All right, thank you, James. Go ahead.
Thank you. Sorry.
All right, I have 3 picks. One, of course, is Bianca. The other is Bayley. Then Charlotte to repeat, because if they lose the women's tag, they could start something there. Charlotte enters the Rumble and wins her second straight.
Okay.
You could do Charlotte Asuka at WrestleMania.
The rematch.
With Asuka keeping the title?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Another solid scenario.
But okay, here's the wild card. What are the odds of Ronda coming in the Rumble?
It would
0.
It would be great, but the only reason you would bring Ronda back is if Becky was still there and was still champion.
Right.
If that were the scenario, if Becky was still the champion and didn't get pregnant and was still there, then yes, I would say bring Ronda back, win, and get the belt back. But Becky ain't there, so you can't do Ronda.
But here's the thing. I asked I talked to it. My kids and I were talking, and we're like, Becky's not coming back. And my wife's like, she's like 6 weeks after I had the kids, I felt fine and was doing normal things. And I went to the doctor, and she said I could do normal things. So who knows? I'm not saying it's possible. I'm not saying it's definitely going to happen, but I'm not going to 100% rule it out.
Yeah, she's Becky. She's looking great. She's looking great. She's back in shape.
Now that you
come out 29.
Now that you brought that up with the whole pregnant thing, I don't know why. I see one of the Bellas in the Rumble.
God.
Pregnant? No, they both had their kids. I'm sorry. Yeah.
I mean, they're gonna be inducted in the Hall of Fame. They're gonna have to build up the Hall of Fame eventually. They gotta have one of the Bellas in the Rumble.
When did the Bellas have their kids?
About a month ago. About a month ago.
2 months ago. Yeah. I don't think they have the athletic fortitude that Becky does, though.
No.
I'm sure they've been watching TV and eating ice cream and going shopping right now. So.
You know what? I would love a segment of Billie Kay and Layla.
Oh gosh, yes.
That'd be interesting. Yeah,
At the Rumble, and they're just that'd be cool.
Too Aussie.
They're whining that their former tag partners have moved on to other things.
Okay, will we see? Even though Taker retired, Michelle McCool could show up.
Yeah.
She could be in here.
Maybe.
They make her look way too strong in those rumbles. I know. And
Yeah, they do.
Everything that she's been in, they make her look like a beast.
Yeah,
I wonder why.
yeah.
Taker's like, yeah, she looks good. She's a natural athlete.
Okay.
Make her strong.
Out of the women's Rumble, who do you think is the wild card? Like the one person that you doubt is gonna go all the way, but could bring us a shocker.
Walter
Lana.
brought
Rio.
brought up.
You
Yeah,
think
Walter
Lana?
a good one. Lana, Nikki Cross. Yeah,
Peyton Royce.
love
Peyton
Nick.
Royce. Could,
Rhea.
Rhea Ripley. Yeah,
Yeah.
that could be one to get that win back from last year.
Is Liv in it this year or is she hurt?
Liv is in it this year.
Liv is on it.
Mm-hmm. Stephanie.
Yes. The inventor
Oh,
of
no,
Liv
women.
has not been in a Royal Rumble yet.
No.
Oh boy.
The inventor of women needs to be in the women's Royal Rumble match.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Santina.
Yeah, bring it up,
Oh no!
I'm glad you did. I was thinking.
You know what? Going back to the men, going back to the men's right real quick. You know who I have a feeling? Don't be surprised, but as like a tribute to Brody Lee or Luke Harper, we may see Eric Rowan show up in the Rumble.
Possibly.
Interesting.
Who
He's
knows?
not signed to AEW.
No, he's not. He just did that one time as a favor type
He's in
deal.
that one
Yeah.
spot. I mean, as like a nod, is like a way of showing homage to John. Put him in there.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
Fuck, Braun could do that though. Braun Strowman could do that.
Yeah,
He
you
could
could.
still represent in some way because he did show back up on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Mm,
And he's in the match too, so.
Right.
yeah. I mean, it's like Scott said. This Rumble is unpredictable. We can go very
The
different.
most
scenarios.
unpredictable one, the last one that was slightly unpredictable was 2017.
2018.
Well,
Nobody
yeah,
saw Nakamura
That's
winning.
true.
Yeah.
True.
But
Nobody
as
saw
far
Asuka winning either.
yeah,
Oh yeah, we saw Asuka winning it.
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I mean, who knows?
It's gonna be an interesting Rumble.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's
It
gonna be
is very up in the air. I wonder how they're going to book it. I wonder how many guys they're going to allow to be in there at one time. You know,
Yep.
Maybe
6
sure they're
feet
not gonna
apart,
fill the
everybody. 6 feet.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
wear your masks until you get to the ring.
Oh my
Wear your
lord!
mask in the ring.
5'11" inch.
I don't know.
damn it.
It seems the rest of the
6
world,
feet.
the whole world except for like my county, is acting like COVID is going away.
Yeah.
So-
No.
I mean, with the men's Rumble, Brock is like the one guy that I'm like.
If he's gonna
makes
come
it-
back,
Yeah, if he comes back, are we gonna get Goldberg Brock? 4?
no, please no, please no.
I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen.
No.
Here's
It-
another
well, hang
wild
on.
card.
Um,
Here's another wild card. John Cena.
Yes, good call. Good call.
I'm-
Yeah.
That's very true.
Be a great entrant. Wouldn't win it, but
yeah.
he definitely would be. In there.
Well, I just thought of another shock scenario. We bringing up Brock. What if? And this is an if. Like if Brock does return and win, they could do Brock versus Roman, and Paul Heyman has to pick a side. And you could you could have Heyman stick solely with Roman, and Roman just beats the fuck out of Brock and keeps
But
the
Brock
belt.
as a babyface.
It could be
He
done.
technically was babyface in 2015,
He was over, so
and he was over too. So
Yeah.
Paul
He's not
Heyman on a pole
babyface
match.
or heel, he's Brock.
Mm-hmm.
There's no babyface or heel with Brock. He's
Yeah.
just Brock
He's
Lesnar's
just
an
Brock.
entity.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
He'll just do something to make the fans like him. He'll just still be.
yeah, like carrying
City,
carry a Money in the Bank briefcase and just start shuffling.
Oh yeah.
All I know
I have
is,
a year. Yeah, a year to cash in. A year.
See you in 6 months.
Bye.
Bye.
all I
Didn't
know.
you know? No. How could you not know? I don't fucking watch the show, Paul.
I heard
Now-
that Lester has a helicopter man living, like a guy who like lives with them to fly him around. Greatest job ever, dude.
Great, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hey, we gonna go anywhere today, Brock? No, man. Come on in. Let's go have some steaks and watch some TV.
Cool.
Now,
You get to watch me fuck my wife.
now,
I'm gonna drink a Coors Light. I'm
who's
gonna drink Coors Light, cook some steaks, and fuck my wife.
Now, who's currently injured? That's the thing.
Kofi.
I mean,
Kofi.
Naomi's injured. She's
still
return.
injured. Yeah, I wasn't sure about her. I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't know
I
anymore.
mean, let's see. From SmackDown. No, there's no way Lars is coming back. No.
Who?
Lars Sullivan.
Oh, Lars. No, fuck Lars
No.
Sullivan.
Who?
No.
Please.
Alistair
Endeavor.
Black.
Okay, Alistair could come back.
Yeah,
There's
Alistair
a
could come back, yeah.
Big push for him when he comes back.
Chelsea Green.
Please no.
Maybe. Is Andrade still in? Haven't seen Andrade.
No, I haven't seen him or Angel Garza. I haven't really seen much of any of those guys, I think.
I mean, I see Andrade in the Rumble. Maybe a couple 5 minutes tops.
By the way, does anybody know if Andrade has like any nieces or nephews? Because Charlotte just tweeted a video of a young lady doing some parallel bar gymnastics stunts, said happy birthday to her.
Yes.
My wife and I were wondering about that. We thought maybe it was a relative of Andrade's. So I was just throwing on curious. So
Yes, because he does. But again,
by the way, much like on the Horseman podcast, when what's the young lady's name? I'm sorry,
Hannah.
Hannah, when she speaks of Ramstein and says it properly, I very much appreciate Ricky properly saying Andrade's name. It sounds right when he says it.
Yeah, Andrade.
Andrade.
Rico.
And it's really out of left field because it might be a little too soon, but I don't know. I've been wrong before. AJ Styles proved that. Jay White.
Ooh.
Oh wow.
Have him go after the NXT title.
Yeah, maybe.
Good. But have him show up in the Rumble and then just have him do a thing in the Rumble, get eliminated, and then he shows up.
Kind of like what they did with Bo Dallas, even though that wasn't supposed to happen. Bo was supposed to have been a main roster guy, but when they saw he sucked, let's send him back to NXT and work on his game.
I just thought of something. What about Wade Barrett?
Oh, he's a citizen now.
He's a citizen.
Yeah.
Is he fighting shape, though?
That's the thing. What if he returns at the Rumble? I mean, what a better way to celebrate you're a citizen than going back to what you love.
That's true.
I'm an American citizen. Yeah, I got some bad news.
One name we have not talked about is Sheamus.
Sheamus. I was just thinking that. Once you brought up Wade Barrett, I was like, oh shit, we never mentioned Sheamus.
Because they've been teasing the shit out of Sheamus and McIntyre for so long.
I mean, Sheamus. If Sheamus wins it and goes with McIntyre, I'd be okay with it.
I think they put on a really good match.
They could go back to their days back in when they were wrestling each other in England at IW Insane Championship Wrestling, ICW.
Yep, Irish Whip Wrestling.
Yeah. But like I said, Wade Barrett could be a surprise entrant.
Could be.
Yeah.
Now that we brought up the name, is Brodus Clay going to show up?
I'm so glad none of us said CM Punk.
Yeah, well, thank God.
Well,
CM Punk.
I doubt it unless for some
This sucks. I'm going home.
I would love to see Joe get up from the commentator's table and get in the ring.
Yes.
Ooh, that'd be interesting.
Wonderful.
No, let him keep his commentator suit on while he's fighting too. That would be badass.
Exactly. That'd be wonderful.
Have him call the show buzzer, then his music hit.
Like they did with 2012 with Lawler, Cole, Booker, and JBL.
Except this would be better.
This would be better though.
Way better.
Yeah, way better. Because who knows? Maybe Joe might get some eliminations.
Got dropkick, got eliminated.
Like, damn! Remember when my wife and I were talking about this one? Remember when they were pushing the Wyatt family, and they had like somebody was threatening Michael Cole or something, and JBL stood up and fucking Harper clocked JBL with that discus clothesline.
Yep.
And then right after that, JBL gets on the commentary. He's like, "Oh my God, I got to apologize to a lot of people after taking that one." We just think about that. Like this fucking guy that Walt and I knew when he started. He's the fucking guy who took JBL out, and JBL's the one putting him over with his own fucking move. It's just like, oh man,
I mean,
heart, man.
But again, I'm really excited for tomorrow. I'm really excited.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited for it. So.
And also, I mean, you guys won't be able to enjoy it, but I'll be making a better version of the McRib tomorrow.
Oh, that's right. Yes, he's going to
I
improve the
remember you
McRib,
brought that
ladies
up.
and gentlemen. Which I think Ricky was eating ribs earlier, and shame on you for not
Chicken.
sharing, man.
It was chicken.
It was chicken? Oh, damn. Come on, man.
And it's Texas chicken.
Yeah. Mhm.
Oh, this is a guy who knows his barbecue. Mesquite.
Yes.
Yeah. Again, I always like to bring this up because I just find it so funny. Anytime nowadays, in recent years, when I think of JBL, I can't stop thinking about the 2 times within like a couple of weeks leading into Elimination Chamber 2017 where he tripped first on his way getting into the ring to help Lawler when he was attacked by Ziggler on the King's Court, and then on the pre-show to Chamber, he trips again. Week later on 205 Live, they have a wrestler named Trip Bradshaw. It's like, what a rib to pull on John.
It's all the horrible ribbing that Bradshaw did all throughout the business, and now
he's the one getting ribbed.
And he's got to laugh at it too because he's not a bad mother effer anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Joey Styles knocked him the fuck out. That pretty much
ended his quote bullying ways.
Well, shut up, Maggle.
Jeez.
My favorite is when Ford was asking Booker T, he's like, "Well, what are you gonna do? If you wind up against Finley, the man who loves to fight?" And JBL goes, "Shut up."
But actually, I need to grab this real quick because I haven't worn this shirt in years. But let me grab it real quick. If I can remember where it was.
Yeah.
But the shirt, back when I used to be a massive What Culture fan, back when their good personalities were around, anytime the character King Ross did WTF moments, he kept ripping apart JBL's mistakes on commentary by saying, "It's John O'Clock, motherfuckers."
Nice.
Yeah, that's so wore out because I wore it to death so many times. But yeah, the original John O'Clock shirt with his face saying "Maggle." And
Maggle.
And a picture of a cigar, beer, the APA stall, Texas cowboy flag, the undisputed title, headset, soccer ball, stocks, limo, and the Acolyte symbol.
You know what was great? And this was a preemptive to being the elite, was the JBL and Cole show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
That was fun.
Who they have on there normally? There was those two.
Renee.
Well, Cole was hardly on there, and JBL was on there sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Cody was on there a lot. Goldust was on there a lot. Well, Barrett was on there all the time.
Mm-hmm.
That was funny. It was like kind of like do whatever you want,
Mm-hmm.
Have a little comedy show.
And also, funny thing, speaking of that shirt, that also brings me up. This is what I wake up to every fucking morning.
It's John O'Clock, motherfuckers! I can't believe it!
Yep, King Ross going, "It's John O'Clock, motherfuckers! I can't believe it."
And now
Originally,
Walt Culture's a bunch of whiny babies.
Yeah, and meanwhile,
all what Culture does is talk about how WWE is terrible.
Terrible.
Yeah.
That's it.
And
Yeah.
reasons that this sucks.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Oh, AEW is the more superior promotion, but they barely talk about AEW.
Yeah. Whereas, like,
Now-
the
now they
other...
only talk about WWE.
Yeah, whereas, like,
Why the WWE Network is dying.
Yeah, whereas, like, the other British wrestling YouTube channels like Cultaholic and Wrestle Talk, they'll talk about everything. and do everything. Like Cultaholic, that started originally from the guys that left What Culture, like Blampier, Pacitti, and Ross, even though Blampier was gone before they got started because of some stupid scandal that people need to shut the fuck up about, because they were drunk. He was hitting on a chick while drunk. Like, fuck off. Who cares? And now Blampier's back, and he's arguably better than ever and more mature with his opinions, and he ain't crazy anymore. But that's just me, of course. But yeah, fuck What Culture nowadays. Back in their golden age, when they were able to get away with making a shirt like this. Yeah, and I wish I would have gotten a hold of the new version Cultaholic made, because it looked so much better, because it's literally JBL with his arms like a clock. But it was only for a limited time, and I don't know if they even got new versions right now, so... But anyways, I think that's a good point to wrap up. But before we wrap up, a couple of notes. So, Royal Rumble month is now over. We're moving on to February, where it's going to be completely random the whole month. Next episode, we're actually going back to WCW for an episode. We're going to talk about Super Brawl 4 as a way to continue what we were talking about with Starrcade 93. The week after that, on Valentine's Day weekend, we got to talk about St. Valentine's Day Massacre 1999. The week after that will be our first non-review episode since the Rebooking the Invasion, where we talk about Mick Foley in the WWF from 1996 through 2000.
Have a nice day.
Yep. And then in the final week, we're going to be talking about No Way Out 2002. And then after that, from March through to the end of WrestleMania 37, it's WrestleMania season. We're talking 7, 10, 11, 14, 17, and night 1 of 37, and predict night 2.
Put me on board for 17.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
So that's the quick version. Then April, it's kind of jumbled up now because of the wrench in the works with 37 happening the 2 nights again. But we'll figure out some way to make that back up somehow. Maybe we'll sneak a couple of those episodes into May, and we do random stuff in May. And then June, we'll do like 1 Bash, 1 King of the Ring, and then random topics, so on. Same going forward for like the big months like SummerSlam and Halloween Havocs and Survivor Series and so on. We'll do like only a couple, so that way we can fit more room for like just like retrospectives, rebookings, and so on and so forth. I do know one episode I do want to do in May, rebooking John Cena's first WWE title reign. That is one I definitely
goes on forever.
Yes, it will
Still
go
to this
on
day,
forever.
he's champion.
Give me the gore thugs. Give me the gore
15
thugs.
Gore thugs, yeah.
15 years of John Cena's champion.
Oh yeah, real quick, for those who don't know what Ricky just said, Gore Thugs, that's a reference to on one of my Twitch streams where I was playing Here Comes the Pain. I formed a tag team, John Cena and Rhino, the Gore Thugs. That sadly didn't last long because fuck handicap matches in that game. They were the worst. So, but anyways,
You gotta know how to play.
I know how to play, but handicap matches have never been my strong suit in Here Comes the Pain. Like every other game I can handle it, but Here Comes the Pain, good lord. Especially playing as John Cena, who's a 75 overall, against Benoit and Angle, who reverse every fucking move you do. Fuck off. Anyways. Now it's plug time, so Ricky, you got anything to plug?
Well, you can follow me on Instagram at Akaraman Metal God, where I post like some of my collections, a couple of memes, just crazy random shit.
And of course, you can catch him every couple of weeks on the Horseman podcast on my YouTube channel. Scott?
You can find me on my YouTube channel, Mr. Scott Reacts, coming this Tuesday. Reaction to the latest song from the Merkins, which is a parody of the Extreme song More Than Words. It's Jason and Freddie doing More Than Burns. Great parody of this song. Highly recommend you check it out. Big shout out to the Merkins because they shout me out every time I do a video for them, and when they go live, and Random Roy comes up with great tracks and grooves and stuff. So more inside those guys. You find me on Twitter and Instagram, Mr. Scott Reacts, and now you find me on Twitch at Mr. Scott Rocks, where I go on there and I play metal songs on bass and I chat with people. I had a great chat the other night, so love to see you all come out there.
Walter?
You can find me on the Twitter at YourWaltBall, and you can find me on Instagram at smokin_Walt_ball. You can also find me and Mr. Scott on our horror and metal podcast, the Necrocasticon, with our good friends, author Thomas R. Clark, author Skip Novak, and our good dude, Sergeant Fury Dan Roberts. We bring you all of the finest that is in horror and metal.
Which, by the way,
you can also find me losing on Wrestling with Trivia as well. I did the job last night, so
damn,
Wednesday night. Yeah. Again, by 1 point.
Damn.
By 1 point.
And real quick, before we get to James, remind me, Scott or Walter, to send me a link to the episode you guys did with DK, because I need to look that up.
Oh yeah,
it's up and running. It's up and running now, I believe.
Yeah, it is. It came up last Monday. Just check my Twitter feed. You'll see.
I'll look that up.
DK he retweeted it too. So.
Yeah. All right, James.
You can find me on my YouTube at We Are Pro Wrestling with my weekly show From the Vault, where I cover various topics throughout wrestling's history. Friday is the actual episode, while Saturday is the Q&A, and you can ask questions for this coming week's episode on either my Q&A video or the actual episode from this past week. So, and you can follow me on Twitter at WAPW_wrestling.
And finally, you can subscribe to me on YouTube, ThrashManiac99. Finally, I'm starting to do more stuff than just the Marvel Studios Cup. This past Tuesday, I did the review for the new Asphyx album, Necroceros. Check it out if you haven't. The next one I got planned up is for the new Accept album, Too Mean to Die, which, again, that song Undertaker. WWE, use that song for Taker's Hall of Fame package, please.
Undertaker.
But anyways, you can follow me on Twitter at ThrashManiac99, and of course follow and or subscribe to my Twitch, ThrashManiac99. That's pretty much it, but before we go, hey jackass,
if there is one thing I need all you simple-minded people to do, is you have to go down there and click that red button that says SUB. Subscribe on it. Click that damn button or else you're a no good jackass.
Oh, so there's your plug for this channel. Yeah, there's your plug for this channel. But one last thing before we go, since we brought up Mr. Daniel DK, we're going to raid him, show him some love since he's live right now. But until next week, we'll be back for Super Brawl 4. But until then, horns high. And we'll see you next week.